Hey guys, Tony here. We're going to have another video to show off some cards. This is going to be a football-centric video, so if you're a football fan, this is the show for you. If not, then you probably want to turn it off now. So we're going to look at cards, tickets, and some other random things in my collection. So what you're looking at right now are two autograph balls from the Super Bowl that the Eagles won in February 4th, 2018. And I have every starter and key reserve autograph on these two balls, except for Jake Elliott, the place kicker, and Torrey Smith, wide receiver. One is mainly for the offensive side. The other one is for the defensive side. And then we got special teams mixed between both balls, including Coach Doug Peterson. Somebody made a joke when I made the Steve Jeltz video about wearing gloves. So I'm definitely going to wear gloves when I handle this football. And I even got green gloves. So we're going to start with this ball. This is the offensive side of the ball. And let's start with this signature. So this is Jason Kelce. I had this signed 2 years ago at a private signing. He wasn't part of the players I was able to get the ball originally signed by. This is Carson Wentz, because you can tell by the AO1. This is Nick Foles here. This is Corey Clement. You can make out some of the autographs. What's nice about this ball is not only is it wasn't used in the Super Bowl, but it's an actual Super Bowl ball, meaning it was made to the specifications. This is the same type of ball that they used for the game. And here's some of the certs. When I went to a Philly show last year, I had additional autographs. I'll put a list of everyone who I have on this ball and the other one. And then the James Spence autograph, I know that's Jason Kelce. And then Fanatics, this is who signed the ball originally when I bought it. So this is the offensive side of the ball. I'm going to put that here. Here's the defensive ball. Same thing, PSA authentication for some of the autographs. And this PSA authentication, I believe, is for Doug Peterson. And here's everyone else who was on the ball when I bought it. So let's take a look at here. So one thing you notice right off the bat with football autographs, due to the green and the leather holds the autographs nice, but it's really kind of hard to tell without the players' numbers. So it's pretty cool that they have the numbers on the ball. Now, this side's pretty interesting. So at the Philly show, when they had Doug Peterson there, Peterson signed the ball in green marker first. And after he signed it, I walked away and I'm like, the autograph's nice, but it didn't come out good, especially in the green. So Doug was nice enough to sign the ball again, and he even put the Super Bowl inscription there, which he didn't have to. So these are my two autograph balls from the Super Bowl. And as you know, Super Bowl 52. And the only ones I'm missing for key players or starters, Jason Elliott, which this year he turned into Missy Elliott, and the receiver, Torrey Smith. Let's see. Now we'll take a look at some of the other items I have. So this is my earliest Super Bowl ticket. This is the 1969 Super Bowl III, autographed by Joe Namath. And this ticket means a lot to me. I won it in a Fanatics Collect or PWCC auction, and came out of the Patrick Ryan collection. And why this is important to me, not only being the third World Championship game, which became known as the Super Bowl, but because of Joe Namath. Growing up as a 1980s kid, Joe Namath, I mean, he was a big deal. He was on TV occasionally still. He was extremely popular in the 1960s and 70s. I mean, he was like the Mickey Mantle of football players. Joe Namath may not be the best AFL player ever, but I think he's the most important. He gave that league some legitimacy, a lot actually, when they won the third World Championship and forced the merger between the NFL and the AFL. And that's what we have the NFL today. And Joe Namath's a big part of that. And then along with the Super Bowl III, this was a huge card in the 1980s. Even there, not 1990s. I mean, this was considered like the 52 Mickey Mantle of all, Topps football cards. This is one of my favorite cards in the collection, but we're here to talk about Super Bowl stubs. So let's continue that. This is Super Bowl 1981. This is when the Eagles lost to the Oakland Raiders. This means a lot to me. It was the first Super Bowl that the Eagles played in. Didn't win, obviously. I think it's a pretty important ticket stub. Older PSA slab too, because it doesn't show the Super Bowl MVP. This one is also a pretty important one for me. This is the 85 Bears team, 86 Super Bowl. Richard Dent won the MVP. A couple of reasons this one means a lot to me. My late stepfather was born in Chicago, moved to Miami when he was around 10, but he remained a Bears fan. He passed away in March of 2021. But Jim taught me a lot about football, and being a big Bears fan, starting in 1985, he got me into football and cards, and then 86, we went crazy buying rack packs from Toys R Us of Topps football. And when Jim passed away, he actually left a complete 86 Topps football set. This was his set, in my house for me to hold for him. So he never owned the Super Bowl ticket, but he always wanted it. So after he passed, I was able to get a stub, because I remember us watching it together. I tried to focus on Super Bowl tickets that I have a memory from, but I got some pretty cool, stories. So this is 1981. This is Giants and Buffalo. This is the Norwood Miss. This one means a lot to me because while my father didn't go to the Super Bowl, and I love the hologram here. And what's special about this Super Bowl ticket, I forget how long I have had it, but when the Eagles won the Super Bowl for the first time in February 2018, even when Carson Wentz got hurt in 2017 before the year changed and we went into the playoffs, Jeff Hostetler was the hero of the Super Bowl, in addition to many other Giants players. But for those who remember, Phil Simms got hurt, and then Hostetler pretty much came out of nowhere. He performed really well. And much like Nick Foles, he came in as a sub, and he did a great job. And unfortunately, it was the start of the 4 straight Super Bowls that the Bills lost. Here we have the Super Bowl from 1993 when Dallas trounced Buffalo. And this one's special because it's autographed by Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, and Troy Aikman. Good luck trying to figure out whose autograph is which. That's a sad part about this ticket. And this was one of the first tickets also that I can remember where they got rid of the the lenticular and the 3D hologram effect. They did a couple times after this year, but I really love the hologram. Holograms were really important, really making a splash in the 1980s and 1990s. So much to the point where Pro Set came out with hologram chase cards of the Lombardi Trophy. So this is the 1990 Pro Set Vince Lombardi Trophy chase card. They made 10,000 of these. And this was it. If you were buying football cards in 1990, Series 1, this is the one you wanted. This was the first football chase card. So this is the ticket here. And I just remember watching this because I was really rooting hard for Buffalo, especially after they lost to the Giants and ended up losing to Dallas twice. Here's the 1996 Super Bowl when Dallas beat Pittsburgh. I remember this one because it was one of Cowher's first teams. He led Pittsburgh to the Super Bowl. Yeah, and this is the last Super Bowl Dallas won with Barry Switzer. This has memories because I was rooting for Pittsburgh also. They had Neil O'Donnell as the quarterback. And my dad actually went to the Super Bowl. This is not his ticket, but he did make it to Arizona for that with his friends. And Dallas hasn't made a Super Bowl since, or a decent playoff run. Here is the 1998 Super Bowl when Denver beat Green Bay. This is special to me because growing up in the 1980s, I was a John Elway fan. Not as much as some other quarterbacks, especially the Eagles ones. But I remember Elway kind of being remembered as the guy who couldn't win a Super Bowl. So it was nice to see him win a Super Bowl, even though it was against Brett Favre. People forget how elite Favre was. Elway too. I mean, Elway was just unbelievable. Rocket of an arm, considered one of the first gunslingers that I can remember, especially from the 1980s. Marino pretty got much all the praise, but Elway was really, really good. And then when Elway and Montana started to get a little long in the tooth, you had young quarterbacks, which were really good. Aikman, Favre, Steve Young. Oh, Steve Young was so good. I can't believe not too many people talk about Young anymore, but he was really good quarterback. But Favre was out of this world too. This Super Bowl is from 2001. This is Baltimore when they beat the Giants. You know, this is a special ticket because not only is it autographed, but not too many years before this, it was the Cleveland Browns. So if Cleveland never moved to Baltimore, there's a good chance that it would have been the Cleveland Browns playing in the Super Bowl. But yeah, this was an interesting Super Bowl for me. I remember that Baltimore defense was just unreal. And then Kerry Collins was the quarterback for the Giants. So obviously being Pennsylvania, I'm a Penn State fan, even though I didn't go there. But it was a little easy to root for Kerry Collins, even though he had his issues on and off the field. I mean, Ray Lewis signed this one, so I'm lucky enough to have it. And then I love the hologram effect too on this card. Same technology they had with this next important ticket, and also in numerous baseball cards. The lenticular technology used for the 3D effect started in cards from that I remember 1968 Topps with their 3D set. There was a football prototype actually made, but not in the lenticular format for that set, and that was Bart Starr. Then you had the Kellogg sets from the 1970s with baseball and football. Then you had Sportflix in the 1980s, and then you had other manufacturers do some things with the 3D effect. So this is a pretty cool ticket. So we all know about Brady. I was actually rooting for New England in the Super Bowl because of Brady, even though I didn't like the whole thing that happened against the Raiders in the snow with the tuck and all that. But this is an important piece of football history here. I was okay with the Patriots and Brady till they killed the Eagles in that Super Bowl, but we'll talk about that soon. So here we have 2004 when New England beat Carolina. I was with my father watching the Super Bowl at his membership club for guys his age at the time. And so we weren't at the Super Bowl, but we watched it together, pretty much like a lot of Super Bowls. So you see here, there's no hologram, certainly embossed here, but just like an Art Deco picture from the 20s. I think the game wasn't as close as it was, but I have to watch the highlights again. But I remember just, New England playing well, but that might be my memory. Then we have the next Super Bowl. I didn't do any prep for this. So here we have the 2008 Super Bowl. This was a huge one. Even though being a fan of the Eagles, I was rooting for the Giants because I didn't want to see New England win again. So this is a special ticket for me. Wish it was autographed. Now I went a little bit out of order because I want to save a ticket for last, but I'm going to go into this one now. So this is 2005 Super Bowl. Little bit embossed. The Super Bowl hurts. No pun intended. I really, T.O., Eagles finally had a good receiver. Andy Reid looked like he was finally starting to get over the hump and being a better second half game manager as a head coach, instead of just saying my bad and, I got to do a better job and I got to support my players better and making excuses for them. And then McNabb throwing up and trying to be a diva and eating too much chunky soup. I really thought we had the Super Bowl won at halftime. We were playing very well. T.O. was great. T.O. had surgery, just mere months leading up into the Super Bowl. Had a real nice Super Bowl appearance, and then we just fell flat. McNabb dry heaved, threw up, choked. Andy Reid couldn't manage his way out of a paper bag in terms of being a head coach then. He's got a lot better since. He also has a much better quarterback in Mahomes than any other time in his career. So I think they kind of make him out to be maybe a little bit better than he really is as a head coach. But that's just me being a disgruntled Eagles fan from all that talented teams he had, and he failed. Here we have the 2010 Super Bowl with Drew Brees winning his big one against the Colts. This is a special Super Bowl ticket. This is a ticket that my father actually used. I have the other ticket that he used that's next to this that I have to get graded. That's here. And I left this one ungraded because I thought maybe if I see Drew Brees, I can get him to sign it. But yeah, this is special for me because my dad actually used it. Going back into the Eagles Super Bowl, going a little bit out of order still. What's special about this Super Bowl also, other than it's the Eagles' second appearance in a Super Bowl, is the NFC Championship game. So I went to the NFC Championship game where we throttled the Atlanta Falcons. And what's really meaningful about this, other than, I went with a good friend of mine, is these are 2 of the 4 tickets that I actually own now. So in 2005, when I went to this game, 8 years later, I ultimately ended up buying those seat license. These are my seats now. So you see section 126, row 23, seats 17, 18, and we're just missing seats 15 and 16. But these are my season tickets, not my account holder. But these are the tickets I have, and that's pretty cool because I never would have thought in a million years I would have took over these seats. We'll put him next to McNabb here because even though how I feel about him as a quarterback, he still deserves his props.